Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And today we're going on a seriously wild ride. I'm talking about the mantis shrimp.
Oh, yeah, the mantis shrimp.
This creature is often no bigger than your thumb, but somehow generates one of the fastest and most forceful movements in the entire animal kingdom.
It's
And
true.
we're going to unpack all of that today.
Oh, absolutely.
So get ready, because we're going to be talking about a punch so powerful that it creates shockwaves and even light.
It really is one of nature's most remarkable feats.
So to get us started, can you give us like a quick overview of just how powerful this little creature's punch is?
Well, imagine a creature that can strike with the force of a .22 caliber bullet.
Really?
Yeah, and it can accelerate its club faster than a fighter jet.
Now, hold on a second. A fighter jet? Are you serious?
Right.
That just doesn't seem possible for something that lives underwater.
Oh, it's true. And the secret lies in how they store and release energy. You see, it's like a tightly wound spring.
Okay.
But instead of metal, it's this incredibly complex system of muscles and a specialized lever system built into their forelimbs.
Okay.
And they use this system to build up tension, and then bam, they release it in a fraction of a millisecond.
So it's not just brute strength.
No.
It's almost like they've got some really advanced biomechanics happening.
Yeah, you could say that.
So what happens when this superpowered punch actually connects with something?
Well, it can't just be a normal impact, right?
Right.
The mantis shrimp's strike is so incredibly fast that it causes the water to vaporize around its club.
Okay.
And it creates something that we call cavitation bubbles.
Cavitation bubble.
Yeah, it's kind of like the water's being ripped apart at
Yeah.
the speed of the impact.
Cavitation bubbles. Is that kind of like what happens when you snap your fingers?
You're on the right track.
Okay.
It's the same principle, just magnified thousands of times.
Got it.
And when those cavitation bubbles collapse, they create intense shockwaves.
Oh, so it's like a double whammy. You got the force of the initial strike, and then you get hit by the shock wave on top of that.
Yeah.
No wonder these things can crack open the toughest shells.
Oh, and I haven't even told you the best part yet.
What's that?
When those bubbles collapse, they also generate a ton of heat.
Oh, really?
Enough to reach temperatures comparable to the surface of the sun for a short period.
No way.
I know, it's crazy, right? And it's a phenomenon called sonoluminescence, and it actually produces a flash of light.
Wow. So like every single punch creates a tiny little underwater fireworks show.
You got it.
That is awesome. And I read that scientists have only recently been able to capture this on camera because it happened so fast.
Yeah, high-speed cameras and advanced imaging techniques have allowed us to study these events in detail.
That's incredible. So we've got this incredible speed, we've got force, we got cavitation, we got shock waves, we even have light. It's like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
It is like science fiction.
But this is all happening because of millions of years of evolution, right?
That's right. The mantis shrimp's punch is a perfect example of how evolution can lead to extraordinary adaptations.
It's a survival tool.
Yeah, it allows them to stun or even kill prey like crabs and mollusks with really tough shells.
Right, because they couldn't get through those shells without that kind of power.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've seen pictures of mantis shrimp, and they're so colorful, and they seem to have these complex interactions with each other.
They do.
It's not just about brute force, right?
No, you're right. They have complex social behaviors and communication systems.
Okay.
And their vision, that's a whole other deep dive.
Wait, their vision. What's so special about that?
Well, their eyes are considered to be the most complex in the animal kingdom.
Oh, really?
They can see a spectrum of light that is invisible to us, including UV and polarized light.
So they're seeing colors and things that we can't even imagine.
That's exactly right.
Maybe we could save that for another deep dive because we still have a lot to unpack about this punch.
We do.
We've talked about how it works in nature, but what about the implications for us humans?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. The mantis shrimp's punch isn't just a marvel of nature. It's a source of inspiration for scientists and engineers across a variety of fields.
Like what?
We're talking robotics, materials, science, all kinds of things.
So this little creature is inspiring some potentially big advancements.
Yeah.
Give me some specifics. What kind of applications are we talking about here?
Okay, so imagine surgical robots that operate with the speed and precision of a mantis shrimp, able to perform really delicate procedures with minimal invasiveness.
Wow.
Or what about building materials that are inspired by the mantis shrimp's shell, able to withstand incredible impacts and protect structures from damage?
So we're talking stronger helmets, tougher body armor, maybe even earthquake-resistant buildings, all inspired by a shrimp.
Yeah, it might sound far-fetched, but the possibilities are really exciting.
And there's more.
There is?
The mantis shrimp's punch isn't just about brute force, it's also incredibly efficient
Yes.
in terms of energy, right?
Yes. Yeah. Researchers are studying how they achieve this, hoping to apply these principles to create more efficient and sustainable technologies.
So this little creature could hold the key to a more sustainable future.
It's possible.
It really makes you appreciate the ingenuity of nature.
Absolutely.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's talk about cavitation a little bit more. You mentioned that studying this in the context of the mantis shrimp has advanced our understanding of fluid dynamics and shockwave physics. What does that actually mean for us?
It means that we're gaining insights into fundamental scientific principles that govern how fluids behave and how shockwaves propagate.
So we're unlocking some of the mysteries of the universe.
In a way,
Yeah,
by studying shrimp.
by studying shrimp.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's like this deep dive is about so much more than just learning about this cool ocean creature.
You got it.
And this knowledge can be applied in a lot of different areas.
It can.
Like you were saying, more efficient cleaning technologies and even improved medical ultrasound devices.
Who would have thought that studying a shrimp could lead to all of these things?
I know, it's mind-blowing.
It really is.
It is.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion and constantly finding these new wonders and connection.
And we've only scratched the surface.
There's still so much more to learn.
A lot
Oh,
more.
you definitely got me hooked. I'm ready to dive even deeper into this world.
Let's do it. It's not just the mantis shrimp's strike that's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's also their ability to withstand those forces.
You mean the fact that they don't, like, pulverize their own claws every time they punch?
Exactly.
Now that you mention it, that's pretty amazing. How do they do that?
Well, they generate forces strong enough to shatter aquarium glass.
Right.
And yet their own appendages are fine. Researchers are looking at their exoskeleton to try to understand this.
So you're studying, like, the structure and the material.
Yeah, how it's structured, what it's made of, how it absorbs those forces.
So it's more than just a hard shell. There's, like, some really complex engineering going on at a microscopic level.
Absolutely. It's a masterpiece of natural design.
And understanding how this works could lead to some pretty incredible new materials and technologies, right?
Right. Imagine being able to protect sensitive equipment from impacts.
Okay.
Maybe a new kind of shock-absorbing case for your phone that could survive a drop from a building.
Or like cars that are more resistant to crash damage.
Yeah, exactly. Safer cars, more durable electronics, all thanks to the mantis shrimp.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It seems like every time we uncover one amazing thing about this creature, it just leads to more questions and possibilities.
That's science for you.
So we've talked about the punch, the shell cavitation shockwaves.
Right.
What haven't we talked about?
Well, we touched on it briefly, but their vision is something else.
Oh yeah, their eyes are supposed to be really special, right?
They're considered the most complex eyes in the entire animal kingdom.
What makes them so complex?
Well, for starters, while we humans have 3 types of color receptors, mantis shrimp have somewhere between 12 and 16.
12 to 60, so they're seeing colors that we can't even imagine.
Exactly, and it's not just color. They can also see polarized light, which we can only see with special filters.
Okay.
It's thought that this allows them to see these incredibly detailed underwater scenes, even in murky or low-light conditions.
Wow. I'm trying to imagine what that would be like to see the world through their eyes.
It would be pretty
It
amazing.
must be like looking through a kaleidoscope or something.
Maybe even more vibrant.
What are scientists learning from studying their vision?
Well, they're hoping to develop new imaging technologies based on what they're learning.
Okay.
Imagine cameras that can see through camouflage or detect these subtle changes in light that are invisible to us.
That could have all sorts of applications.
It could.
But, with all this talk about biomimicry taking inspiration from nature, do you ever worry about the ethical implications of this?
Of course, it's something we need to be mindful of.
I mean, are we at risk of exploiting the very creatures that inspire us?
It's a valid concern, and I think it's about finding a balance, learning from nature without harming it.
So it's about responsible innovation.
Yeah, it's not just about what we can do, but what we should do.
It's about respecting the incredible diversity and complexity of the natural world.
Exactly. And recognizing that we're a part of that ecosystem, we're not separate from it.
After learning all of this, I'm starting to think that the mantis shrimp should be like a superhero.
I agree.
It's got the super strength, the impenetrable armor, the super vision. It's the whole package.
Maybe we should start a comic book series, The Adventures of Mantis Shrimp Man.
I love that idea, but seriously, what stands out to you the most about this creature?
For me, it's just a reminder that nature is full of surprises.
Okay.
Even the smallest, seemingly insignificant creatures can possess remarkable abilities that challenge our understanding of what's possible.
I totally agree. And I came into this deep dive knowing a little bit about mantis shrimp, but I had no idea how much there was to learn.
Me too.
It's not just about the science. It's about the wonder, the inspiration, the potential for these new discoveries that could change the world.
The mantis shrimp is a perfect example of why we need to protect our oceans and the incredible biodiversity that they contain, because we never know where the next big breakthrough is going to come from.
That's a great point. We've covered a lot of ground today, but I have a feeling this is just the beginning of our exploration of the mantis shrimp. It's kind of funny when you think about it.
What's up?
We started this whole deep dive talking about, punching and cracking shells, and now we're talking about protecting the oceans. It seems like everything's connected.
It really is. Everything is connected. The mantis shrimp is a perfect example of why biodiversity is so important.
Right.
Every species plays a role in this delicate balance, and losing one, even one, can have huge ripple effects.
So it's not just about, saving cute and cuddly animals. It's
No.
about preserving this whole web of life that we're a part of.
Exactly. And, we've been talking about biomimicry and learning from nature.
Yeah.
We have to remember to protect the source of that inspiration.
By being a good guest in someone's home. You don't just, take what you want and leave a mess.
Right.
You treat it with respect.
Exactly. And it's not even just about taking without giving back.
Okay.
It's also about understanding the potential consequences.
Oh, you mean like unintended consequences?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine we develop this super strong material based on the mantis shrimp's shell.
Okay.
Great. But what if producing that material requires some kind of rare mineral
Mm-hmm.
that's mined in a way that harms the environment?
Oh, I see.
Or what if it's so durable that it never breaks down and creates a new form of pollution?
So it's not enough to just create something new.
No.
You have to think about where it came from and where it's going.
We have to consider the entire life cycle and its impact on the world around us.
So it's not just about scientists and engineers.
No.
It's about all of us being more mindful
Exactly.
of our impact on the planet. So
Yeah.
what can we as individuals actually do to make a difference?
Well, there are so many things you can do. Support organizations that are working to protect the oceans, reduce your own plastic consumption, try to make more sustainable choices in your everyday life. Even just spreading awareness about things like biodiversity can have a ripple effect.
Small actions can lead to big change.
Absolutely. We all have a role to play in protecting the planet
Right?
and the incredible diversity of life that it supports. And who knows, maybe by protecting creatures like the mantis shrimp, we're ensuring that future generations can be inspired by them too.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a perfect note to end on. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me, and I'm sure it has been for our listeners as well. We learned about the power of the mantis shrimp,
Yeah.
the potential for all these bio-inspired technologies, and the importance of responsible innovation and conservation.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise, and for everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about the natural world. Remember, the mantis shrimp is just one example of the countless marvels out there just waiting to be discovered. Keep exploring, keep asking questions,